welcome.
Thanks, Eddie. Thanks
Doug,
for the invite.
You're very welcome to be here. Let's tell everybody a little bit about Seishin, about what you do.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
So I started martial arts in 1982 at school.
Okay.
And then my two brothers, Wayne and Steve, were doing Zendo Kai down in Scarborough back
You go to
then.
school in Scarborough as well?
Pardon me?
Did you go to school there?
No, in Balcatta.
Balcatta. Okay. Where in Balcatta? Which school?
Balcatta High.
Balcatta High? Yeah, cool. Yeah, I've spent some time doing this, doing some mentoring there.
Okay.
So that's interesting.
And then, so that's where it started. So my whole family was training Dan Zendo Kai from back in those early 80s. And then that's just my brother and I, Wayne, we had a dojo together in Mirrabooka. Opened like a satellite dojo, and then we had two in one in Scarborough and also in Loo, down at Selby Street, and then we've just grown from there and gone into the suburbs. Yeah.
Awesome. Who was your sensei in?
So it was Rod Stroud.
Okay.
Rod Stroud, yeah.
Okay.
So trained together with Rod for 20 years. 20 years.
He's still around, or is he?
Yeah, he's still training. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
in Perth?
Yeah, in Perth. Yeah. So,
He's still in Scarborough, same dojo?
No, he is not. No.
Okay, yeah.
No. So but fantastic martial artist.
Wow. Tell me about Animal Flow.
Well, Animal Flow, basically, if I go back to, say, 1992, 93, when we first started doing the jiu-jitsu, and a lot of the warm-ups, you would do a lot of the animals, which would mimic a lot of the fighting styles of holds and moves, and then you could take it from a vertical situation for, say, the crocodile for the Muay Thai, checking and defences. So I have never been really one for doing weights per se. So I've really liked the bodyweight exercises, and going back to in the 50s, my dad, Dave, he used to be in a troop doing all like bodyweight exercises, and they'd go into Kings Park and around Perth doing all different shows. So that sort of intrigued me. And then by virtually, probably 5 or 6 years ago, got introduced to Mike Finch, who sort of is the creator of Animal Flow in America.
Okay.
And I've been under his done some mentorships with him since then, and all the courses, and he's virtually tidied it all up and got a system of different animals that he uses, and then just the movement that you can get. So we're working with the energy flow of we got rolling energy, you've got braking energy, redirecting energy, and just virtually just changing the tempo up. So it's like ground carders, if you want to say, in the karate. So then you can just adapt it to however you want. So that's been fantastic. There's just so much information but going back down to the ground, takes the pressure off the back. We've lost the use
core strength stuff.
Core strength,
yeah.
Going back through the back. We've lost the use of our arms, if you want to say.
You know?
Well, we have in our society, you know, through computers and gaming,
the noodle arms on the computer now,
etc. So the sensations that you get coming back up through the fingers to the arms to the back is just unbelievable. So a lot of great information. As animals, we, ourselves, the good thing about it, we play. So when we're practicing, we play. So then we evolve, and we can sort of find out any maybe abnormalities that you have within your body. Nothing, everything's challenged. Like one of the girls that I've trained with, Chantel Burns, for 8 years doing this thing, she even came to training the other day going, wow, I still get a little bit nervous coming to training because I don't know what I'm going to do.
That's cool. I mean, it keeps it varied up.
Varied up. So we look at one thing is 10 things. So the body weight exercises, again, I like it because basically the system we work on is you go, lateral, forward movements, backward movements, twisting, rolling, and then we start doing, on the bars, monkey swings and things like that. So the health benefits are quite huge. Yeah. So you're getting more blood supply going to your head, more blood supply going to your heart and lungs.
It's funny you mention, these little things don't quite fit right with people when they're doing it. They're nervous about it. Because one part of my journey in this sort of early phase of getting back into martial arts, but also with the actual fitness of getting through it, is power stuff. Where I find left hand, like I would never have thought it if I was just hitting a bag, right? I wouldn't have had to feel the power difference. But when we were doing proper targeted combos, I find left coordination. So like I was talking to my trainer the other night, and I'm going like that with my fist as I get tired, rather than powering through shoulder right. And like it's like that. You find these little tweaks in bits and pieces where if you're doing a stance, you feel, wow, I don't have power in my abductors or something. Or last night I was with my trainer and we were doing you put a band around your wrists and you're going up the wall and it's your rotator cuff. And I'm just super weak on that, but I'm very strong on some other stuff. So I was like, wow, there's all these little bits. And I guess doing the compound stuff and bodyweight stuff with yours, you'd pick up those little weaknesses here and there.
The nuances, and you've got to work with them because we look at when I train, I want to make the body strong. Okay.
Oh, I said so well.
Recording stuff.
Yeah, come in. Just say hello quickly.
Well, how you going?
This
all
is
right? Thank you.
for anyone who's can see. Say hello, Sensei Will. This is actually my sensei.
There's the camera. Hello.
Oh, okay. Is that who you were talking about just then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Talking about your ears are burning, mate. You had to rug up.
All right, cool. I'm going to leave you to it then.
Thanks, buddy. Cheers.
See, well, work on three things. So you want to make the body strong, mentally and physically. You want to be agile in your movements, and you want to be light, so you're not putting damage on the joints.
That's exactly right, and that's like for me, it's a huge focus. So I'm trying to cut that weight down, and as I've gotten more brought down a bit, I have felt really way more agile, but I'm still very muscular, and I wonder like how much of that I should bring down as well for speed, because speed is an issue for me, right? Especially lower body speed. So when I started sparring, I was thinking, okay, well, a lot of the Muay Thai kicks are going to be side kicks and stuff, and I sort of went, no, actually for me, it's mostly front kicks and things like that, because it's just much quicker.
Lineal, So, look, I think for overall health, you want agility, because vary your movements, because I think if you're specialised in whatever you do, that will break you down. Like we're talking about the fellow with the swimming. If they're just doing repetitive movements, the same movements, you probably a high chance of breaking down. Like say a baseball player just always throwing with their right. A tennis player, rotator cuff. So
the baseball player should do both sides to keep himself even?
Well, I'm just saying, if you're getting paid big loads of money, and you go, okay, that's my career, that's the sacrifice that you're going to take, which is, okay, that's fair enough if that's what you want to do. So I look at the body weight exercises as universal as I'm getting stronger, 15 weeks' time. Week and a half time, I'm getting stronger than I was 10 years ago. I move more freely.
Be more disciplined as well, though, probably.
Well, not necessarily. Just turn the training upside down. So have that conceptual thinking. You want to be training with different partners because you get different strategies. Okay, partner work is great, but you want to get that unpredictability in your training. You have to have that for you to grow, and it's about being creative. So. For you to make me better, we've got to have. It can't be. At the start, we know what each other's doing, but then we want to change that, and that's what I'm saying with the guys and the girls that I train. As soon as they start getting good at something, I'll change it up.
But is animal flow a martial? It's within martial arts, or is
it's in martial arts?
And there's no striking, or
there's no striking. There's
Yeah.
just movement yourself. There was training at the Bali mentorship. I was training with Kid Yamamoto, who's a MMA fighter, Japanese fighter. And again, we were doing the animal flow, and then we were putting it into MMA, how it relates to that. So he's a champion fighter from Japan. So
I mean, it's probably heaps in it, because if you're in the octagon, you're moving around, and you've got to be able to move yourself.
Yeah. So
that was the other one that sort of got me about Muay Thai, was the lateral movement. It's lateral or sideways movement, and how useful it is for your striking, but also your evasion and things, perception. Seeing past the gloves is huge. Those sorts of things, things you wouldn't have thought of.
And again, just changing levels, changing angles, you want to create your, well, that's what we get to create your own flow, okay, and then to be soft in your movement, and to really, it's like a dancer, they're graceful, okay, and that's what we're finding. We're evolving in our practice that's evolving, and we keep mixing it up. So using you don't need fancy equipment. You don't need fancy equipment.
Well, I mean, when I was talking earlier before we started about putting on weight when I was younger, because I was like, I had to hit the gym, get bigger to play rugby. And the first thing I did was I opened a Men's Health magazine, and it had like bodyweight exercises to get bigger. And I was just doing push-ups, sit-ups, but then I put my feet on a chair and do push-ups, and then I put my feet on the wall and do them upside down. Because I was lighter, I could do that. But I quickly got muscular. And that just gave me the confidence to then step in the gym and go up. So you just kept growing.
Okay.
But yeah, that's was the basis. And I never felt sort of more overall comfortable with that sort of body weight exercise than then. That was like the best time for me. Now I'm heavier. It's always heavier and harder to do all the body weight stuff. But I'm getting there. I'm coming down in weight, so it feels easier now.
But the question I'd ask you, Eddie, is how strong are your muscles? You know, are they? Can they adapt?
Oh yeah,
quickly.
Yeah, well that's the thing. That's when I'm lucky, but I'm lucky. You know, we're talking about motivation.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky and unlucky, right? Because I'm lucky that if I step in the gym for 2 weeks, I'll just go back to my muscle memory just comes back, and I'll instantly just go right. But it's unlucky because it kills you. Like my motivation through my 20s was terrible with it, because I come in for 6 weeks, I'd feel jacked, and I'd be like, well, no need to come to the gym anymore, and I'd step out. Whereas I think now I've gotten to a point where I'm way more disciplined and just keep that regularity. But I needed a PT to do it.
Okay.
That was the thing. Yeah. Because I needed it to be a PT I couldn't cancel, actually.
Yeah.
So now I've got it twice a week. I do like crazy annihilation training. So I did one last night. It was just horrendous. But yeah, I love it because of I just have to do it when I'm there. Like my trainer just will not let me out of anything, and I crush through it. And then if you get a good PT, and then so I do that twice a week, and it's made my martial arts way better. Right. But before that, walking into the gym, I'd sort of take my time or whatever. So, but like
we should do a session together.
We totally should. Like I'm super juiced to do it. Let's do it. But like we were talking about earlier as well, on motivation, right? We didn't really finish it off, but we were talking about Ben Cousins, right? And the Eagles, and how to keep, like, say, swimmers motivated or professional athletes. And like for me, I'm still trying to figure out like what is discipline, like what really is discipline, right? Because like I feel really disciplined now, but I'm working 80 hours a week. And I'm just making that time to go to the gym. I have my gym locked in.
Okay.
So say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's 6:30 FMA. Then Thursday, Saturday morning is balls to the wall gym, and then sparring on Friday. So those sessions are just locked in. So the way I look at it is I'm going to work all night anyway. So if I take that hour out, no matter what happens, I drop everything, go gym, come back, and it just keeps me super regular. I miss the odd one, but most of the time. But that's been the game changer for me, is just having it locked in like that. So there's no option.
Option. Yeah, I think if you want to say look at discipline from, I look at practice or training or exercise as a part of the day. So I don't look like I have to do it.
That's right. Yeah.
And then we talk.
I enjoy it.
You enjoy it. And again, every training
session. You need to find
what
you enjoy, though, don't you?
Pardon me?
You need to find what you enjoy.
Yeah, what you enjoy and what your passion is.
Because if you don't.
And then again, get a good coach. Look, a good coach will change the game, if you want to say, but a great coach will change your life. So
I'd say that's true.
So that's what I'm saying. Hunt around and find out that coach, that guy, that girl is perfect for me. And again, do they live it? Do they breathe it? So,
well, I've certainly found that with Sensei Will and Brad down at
again, they live it. They're passionate. Passionate about it, so they go, okay, that's a perfect fit. So you want to change. My principles and practices are, and the crew that we train with is, we change the training up. It's because the muscles are like elastic. We need variation. I give you different skills, so it's about enhancing the systems and the senses of the body for you. Okay, so
well, I would say I don't think I've ever done a session that's all the same the whole way through.
Okay, good.
Right, during this. That's in sort of 8 weeks of it.
Yeah.
And but it is the same structure. So at least I know, I know what's coming, roughly speaking. I know that I'm going to come in, warm up, quick stretch, then go into heavy cardio stuff for a while, moves, learning techniques.
Okay.
Then stretch forward out. It's within that hour. So it's in, out, done. It's always exactly on.
So, okay.
That works for me.
And that's what you want. What works for you. I find with, say, the animal flow and the bodyweight exercises. Is that you're stretching, you got the flexibility in there, you've got the mobility, you've got the strength in there, the power, so the agility, so you've got the all-in-one, it's all happening at the same time or various times. So
would you do it, how often would you do it?
Every day.
Every day?
Yeah.
How long would you spend?
Well, again, I could practice for 1 hour a day, and then I could practice for 6-7 hours a day. Okay.
Wow.
So again, whether as soon as I wake up, I'm moving. Whether it's I'll start with change my breath, how I breathe, getting the posterior and exterior chains going. Then your thought pattern of what are you going to do today? How are you going to move? So the movement through martial arts. That's what I'm saying. The structure or the dynamic of whether I'm doing karate or Muay Thai or my movement training, it's all the same in regards to, I power through, my power is through my hips and my shoulders, my strength is through my spine, and again, I work on making my body and mind strong, giving it challenges, light.
Do you feel like you can do this in the day firefighting? Like, is a typical day? What's the sort of
firefighting the same, because lucky enough from doing firefighting, when we fight a fire, you've got to have a certain amount of fitness. But again, knowing when selective tension, so you don't have to always be tense. And through martial arts and firefighting, just gradually you inoculate the person or firefighter or person how to control your if you want to say your nerves, so then you can get different, you can give complex skills eventually. So again, understanding with the nervous system to go, okay, well, because the heart rate's going to go up, say with a massive fire, or we're talking about a fighter, for instance, you 200 beats per minute, you only use gross motor skills. That will just give you one simple task. And if you're going to compete, just breathe. Okay. The 2, hold this hose and squirt it on there. Okay. And then once you get experience, then you can give some complex skills. Okay. I want you to go that, and that's the strategy we're going to use and the tactics. And then once you obviously become experienced, the time will slow down and you'll see more things. And then you may still use complex, and you may be able to use fine motor skills, maybe. But again, you may be only going to use complex and gross motor skills. So the firefighting, the training, designed with the junior firefighters is they're coming in with the senior firefighters to get that experience. So it's all about strategies and tactics.
Station based?
At Daglish, which is near Subiaco.
Okay, cool. Good team around?
Yeah, and it's all about team, and that's a good thing. Everyone's got strengths and weaknesses, and we basically live together.
So do you, if you're in a metropolitan sort of fire station, do you do a lot of, I guess, is it house stuff, or what sort of comes up?
Because variety. We go all over the state, but we're doing fires, whether it's bush fires, whether it's house fires, car fires. Then you're doing vehicle rescue or crashes. Then you're doing hazardous materials. So
a lot of hazardous stuff.
There's a lot of hazardous stuff.
So how many fire stations or firefighters is there?
There's about 25, approximately 24 stations.
Yep.
And there's about 1,000 firefighters in professional.
Wow.
And there's might be 20,000.
But in the day, do you guys have a lot of time to work out and stuff? Or
yeah, look,
what's it like?
Yes and no, because again, going to the work, yes, you got routine, but then you don't know what the day's going to pan out.
Yeah, so it's dynamic in that sense. Yeah.
It's dynamic, and that's why I try and make the training dynamic, and that's why I'm excited. 37 years later of training and practicing, I'm still excited about it. And choosing the partners to train with. Wow, that's exciting. So the day would start off with, we'd have to check our machines. Then we do get some gym time because you have to obviously maintain a level of fitness. Then we've got like our normal routines of we'd have to do drills. So we might cut up a vehicle and go, this is the strategies that we use. For
is that where the Jaws of Life thing
comes the Jaws of Life.
Yeah. So fireys do it.
Yep. Do all that. So, but then again, the day as soon as you rock up, we might get a call to a person stuck in a lift to someone's missing, and there's the premises full of smoke, and we can rock up there, and someone goes, I'm not sure, there might be someone in there. So, by just through
is there a lot of trauma within firefighting? Because there's a lot of volunteer firefighters as well, right?
Yeah, there's about 20,000 volunteers and like I said,
5,000 professionals.
Professionals, yeah. So,
closely knit, or
yes and no, but
yes and no,
but again, why not have a positive relationship with everyone? You know what I mean? So, but we're the professionals are very close knit as well. You know?
So you know all of them, mate.
Well, not all of them. There's four shifts.
Okay.
And I might not know one of the firefighters I'm on B platoon, D platoon in Armidale. I might not know them. So, but you get to know a lot of them, and the camaraderie is very big. So, but the thing is, I like about say the firefighting relating back to movement and martial arts is strategy and tactics and growing and evolving. So, like a fire can grow. From its incipient stage to you should be thinking, you should be moving differently than you were a year ago. Otherwise, change things up.
I agree, but people find change very uncomfortable.
Yeah, change uncomfortable, but whether it's constant.
Yeah.
Okay. So for your health, that's what I'm saying. In regards to your senses and your systems of your body, we want to be working. I mean, look at how many people. Look at the. People on medications, high blood pressure, alcoholism, anxiety, depression. More and more people are getting this. Okay, so you go, well, do I want to be one of those people? No, you got one chance, one body, and also Alzheimer's and dementia. Hey, I want to. The studies are showing you want to be doing some complex skills. Okay,
well, I saw puzzles because age stuff, right? Like I saw this thing on Facebook, and it was 2 cross sections of an 80-year-old's quads, basically, right? Their leg cross section, upper leg. And one was weight training, and you could see the outer sort of subcutaneous fat was like about half an inch or something. And then the rest was muscle to the bone. And then it was no training, and it was like this tiny, the bone in the middle, and then just like that much fat around it. It was crazy. Because you can imagine the physiological difference that makes too.
So,
but most people don't do any real training after about, if you thought the percentage after 40,
it's pretty low.
It's pretty low. Well, 10%.
Like I say, I find I'm getting stronger and fitter and more agile now. And virtually, last Saturday at training, probably the average age was in our 40s. Okay, at the animal flow seminar that we just did recently, it was probably high 40s. So there's a saying like use it or lose it. It should be use it and use it more. So
I think so. I think probably. Yeah, I think you probably got to do more as you get
older.
older.
You've got to do more.
Yeah, but then you probably get more time after you.
Well, yes and no, but you've got to make it a priority. Again, chairs can ruin you. Okay, how much time do people spend in chairs? Like at work, driving to work, driving home, then sitting, having dinner, which is fair enough, and then watching TV, then lying down. How much do people move?
Yeah.
So, with your training, say you got to make it fun, have play. Then you can create. So if you're a parent,
and then it's not work.
It's not work.
That's the thing. For me, that's what changed it, because, yes, the PT sessions, which are just pure gym grind, are work, but they're still fun because it's fun. I find it hilarious that I'm rolling around on the ground, basically. But the actual martial arts, the FMA stuff, is just so much fun. Yeah, I'm not even thinking about the pushing myself. Not after the first month.
No, the first. Yeah. Well, again, that's what I'm saying. It's the training doesn't have to be all hard. You want to be working. Yes, there's some power. Yes, there's some strength. Yes, there's some speed. Yes, there's laughs. There's plays. There's rest. So there's a difference between resting from you've been training hard and lots, and your body needs to rest, compared to just resting, and then you find it hard even just to play again. So going back to, I like the Masashi, the Book of Five Rings, which is the void. Okay, so you've got the earth, which you've got the underpinning knowledge, the wind. You want to know your opponent or know your own strengths and weaknesses, and go for your weaknesses. That's how you
which
can
is
learn
also
and grow.
really interesting, because, and I've put a lot of thought into this lately, is do you concentrate on your weaknesses or your strengths? That in life, I often think, or in business, strengths, and then you outsource the weak points. You know what I mean? But you should be across them.
Well, across them, but know what they are, and then
identify them.
And then for you to grow, work on them. And same as when I'm playing my music teacher, we might do a song that I know, and then we're doing a song I don't know. So it's hard for me, and that's what we want in it.
It's like a reset. But then there's a mastery level where you can play the song without a reset, in a sense. Like people that can hear a song and play the piano because they're that in tune or whatever. Yeah.
Well, there's the progress to mastery.
Yeah.
But if you want to say there's like three parts to learning, the best part is for you is learning a new skill. Doesn't matter how good you are, but the goodness that gives to the body.
Well, there's an internal human need for that, right? There's this, and I don't think it's just the learning itself, but the implementation. That feeling when you learn something and you implement it in a real world situation, and you're like, wow.
That's good. Yeah.
And combos are like that.
Yeah.
We learned a combo where it was, jab, guard goes up, liver hit, guard goes down, kick. So you're opening up, and it works in practice. And I thought that was just amazing, just something simple like that,
Well,
but with everything, it's like that. Like with business, I find with marketing, it's like that. You learn a strategy, put it into place, you see the actual strategy work. And there's this little moment in the office where we look at it and we're like, let's check the leads on this ad. And we open it up, and there's this, it's like a lottery. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
But
on average, it works because we know it works, so we implement that all the time. But we've got to experiment with new things.
New stuff. So explore. So if you want to say you're exploring with your business, and we're exploring with our training and our body to see what the body can do. I mean, animals, they naturally do it. They play, they fight, they're on the lookout, they're aware. What do? We've taken that all away. We make things easier.
Because we adapt the environment to us rather than adapting to the environment. But it's like you were saying with the baseball player, right? So he's got the one tough arm. And you see, I don't know if it's real, but there's this guy that has this giant arm that does... he does the arm wrestling competitions, right? He's got his tiny other arm. But apparently the Romans had these archers, right? And they would have one big pulling arm, so big bicep on the right arm, and they'd have a pushing big tricep on the other one. And you can actually look at their skeletons and tell who were the archers on the fields when they dig them up, because the bone
of the bone structure.
Yeah, the bone structure is different.
Yeah.
So you'll have one big tricep and so a bigger attachment there. Yeah.
Is that good? I don't know.
So,
maybe for you.
For me, I found the balance is better.
You want the balance, so that's why I like when practicing and moving is nothing becomes not just dominating on the right or the left, and we're rolling and we just keep amping up the levels of complexity, changing partners, strategy, tactics. How do you feel about that? I want to confuse you. I want that, and that's what I want for you.
Yeah, that's right. In that learning phase. But then there's also, I guess, and it goes for the same with business, life, martial arts. You can't have too many different options, right? So you got to pick, like you said, you got to pick that one trainer, follow what they say. And then adjust it. And that's why I was going to ask you this is, to get fit for fighting, right? Yeah. With the skill-based stuff, if you want to do it as quickly as possible, right? So let's say 2 months. You've got 2 months, you're relatively fit, you want to crush into it. I have heard the structure should be, say, 3 sort of sparring sessions a week. So you're doing lots of sparring with heavy fitness with it. And then your diet and exercise stuff separately. A lot of skipping, that type of stuff. What would your structure be, you reckon, on a weekly basis?
Well, again, depending on the person's skill and experience, but I'd look at you'd want to be doing some skills. So you got the basis of the basic fitness.
Yep.
Then you can increase that. Then you want your skill work. Then you want your pad work, and then you want your sparring. And then every session, like say if your sparring doesn't have to be hard, so you might do 3.
Speed.
You want speed.
Yeah.
Look at what you're actually doing in the fight. Okay. You want speed. You want agility, and you want to be light. You want to be working evasive skills. Okay. You want to be working angle work. Okay. You want to work so. It's unpredictable, so you want to cover all the avenues. What if he does that? What if he's that? What if he's small? What if he's tall? What if he's fast? What if he's a defensive fighter? What if he's an offensive fighter?
I guess if you knew your opponent coming up, then you'd have an advantage there. But advantage just basics,
but cover all the grounds, so then there's going to be no surprises. So that's what I'm saying is then because it's going to come back to nerves. What are you like? What are you like under pressure? So you want to do some pressure testing, but again, just slowly do the pressure testing. You know what I mean? So it's achievable, but then but then I'll put you out of your comfort zone. So then you grow as well. So then when you come for your opponent, it's no like, whoa, it's no big surprise. Hey, he's a tall guy. He's a kicker. He's a puncher. He's reach, or he's got a lot of pressure on me. Okay,
or I'm being pushed into a corner or something.
Yeah. So you become familiar with that. But then to grow, then we'll change up the training up a bit.
And I guess you got to test and measure, see what works, what doesn't.
For you. Yeah.
But what about because I've also heard different things on this as far as doing conditioning training, right? So I've heard some people say, like, you think it's called Udo tandem, the hitting.
Yeah.
Now I've had people say who've done it for 20 years that they've then got this pain in their body from breaking apart bits of the fascia and stuff, and that it's not a good idea. But then I hear other people saying, no, you need a certain amount of it. But some of it's resistance mentally. But and obviously with shins and things with Muay Thai.
But again, you want to be hitting from training in Okinawa and doing the Makawara training. It doesn't have to be hard. You just want some pressure coming back. But again, I think to train
to familiarise yourself with that feeling before
the feeling and conditioning of it.
Yeah.
So that's why going back to say the bodyweight exercises. You're loading up the joints and tendons and ligaments and muscles up in a good way. Okay, so to train an athlete, it can take 4 or 5 years. Okay, you're talking about being a swimmer. You can't go from 17 to 20. You're going to be the top. It will take you peaking at 25, an Olympic swimmer. Okay? So to train an athlete, we look at it. It's 5 years, not 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, because your muscles, your ligaments and tendons haven't adapted. Okay? It's a long term, and that's what I'm saying. I'm training for a specific event, which I can do. I'm training for when I'm 70 and 80, I can still move, and that's what I'm saying. I'm stronger.
It's a life by design.
It's a lifestyle, yeah. So where people break down is their ligaments, their tendons, their muscles, their bone structure. So that's what I'm saying is how strong are you? How strong are you? How elastic are your muscles? How adaptive are your ligaments and tendons? So we train in alignment.
Hard to answer those questions, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is that that's the testing I'll do for your training.
You test it to find the answer.
To find the answer for you. So, and you want to be doing those skills because that's what's going to give way. So if you specialise in something, it probably will break down. We have alignment training and then train out of alignment in a controlled atmosphere.
Makes sense.
Because you're only, how are you going to be? Most injuries are a lot from falling. So let's go from ground up. So going back to say the animal moves, well, let's get stronger here. Okay. So like I said, if your mum falls over and breaks a hip and then goes to hospital and then okay. So I'm working from ground up, and I work from inside out rather than hey the guy's got big muscles. That's what I'm saying. I ask people, how strong are you? How adaptable are your skeletal system? What are your reactions like? What are your nervous systems?
Yeah,
systems
and I don't know if you know about this, but I was talking to my trainer last night, and I was saying to her, we're pushing weight as hard as we can go, but I sort of push it out, and then I get to quick failure. Right? So I'm crushing through sets, and then I'll knock out one with a lot of effort, but I'll be banging out, and then I'll just be suddenly done. Yeah. And there's just no more, no matter how hard I've pushed. Yeah. And she was saying that it's an ATP store thing, right? So it's about your actual muscle being able to turn the sugars quickly. Yeah. And that the rest period, then I'll rest for a minute, I'll be fine to knock out another set, right? But we do it in quick succession to try and get that process moving quicker. So I guess my question to her was like, well, what supplements should I really do to increase that sort of turnaround? And that's part of it.
Do you really need supplements?
Well,
Good business.
That's the question. Yeah.
But let's look at what you eat. So go back.
But I found the diet's changed. It's totally changed the way it works. But I guess we still go to failure. So I'm not sure if it's just the difficulty of the training, or if it's because if your muscle loses that ability to sort of flex because your sugar level's gotten right down, whatever it is. What can you do, or is it just that the body's got to adapt to it?
Well, you want to strain the body, but again, all in controlled actions. If you go too heavy, or you
tear something.
What for? What for?
But funnily, I don't do the weight level, but she's very strict on how we do things. Yeah. So
but then you want to train strict.
Is quicker.
You want to train strict and then train unstrict, because that's what I'm saying. If you're used to, say, pushing that way, well, where your weak spot's going to be when something's on a slight angle.
Yeah.
Okay, so how can you adapt for that? So that's what I'm saying. How strong are you in that specific moment, in that specific objective? I'm strong there. But for life, what if I do trip over the curb? What are your ligaments like and tendons, and how you're going to fall correctly? But for that specific moment, I'm perfect. That's what I'm saying. That's good train that way, but we want to train all different angles as well. So
that's why I think the combo of martial arts and a bit of weight training works well.
Pardon me?
That's why the combo of martial arts and weight
exactly.
training works well. So you do have, I guess we've got that hopping on the ground, up from the ground, break falls, one-armed sort of stuff, side break falls, and being able to move around, and shift your weight.
Sensories. That's what you want. The perception, working the systems and sensors of the body.
And the reflexes. Increasing reflexes. That's something that I didn't see coming as one that I totally lost, because I was very quickly blocking stuff in and I lost that over 10 years because I was just never doing any reflexes. But
again, a good skill, but a good thing to have. Animals do it naturally, but we've lost it because we've just got like focal vision, but then we want spotlight vision. So in the training, it's floodlight vision, it's spotlight vision,
or a combo of
and both.
Okay,
working your reactions.
Because you're going to know where you are, environment, and what's happening.
And again, so then you're working. We would work some strength, then we would work some power, then we would work some light. So you lighten your movements, then agility, then slow, then So that's what you do for you. Okay, what do you like? Let's change your breathing. Let's train holding your breath. Let's train breathing in as you go up. Breathe out as you go up. Let's mix it all up. Let's close your eyes.
Certainly, like for me, when we're told to breathe, when we're doing something and they're like, you're holding your breath. Not to do that. Yeah. And then your endurance is so much better because there's obviously a reason humans hold their breath. When they're doing something, nerves or focus or something. But then you got to pace yourself if you're in a real sporting fight situation.
Sporting fight, because you want to last the distance. So if you want to get the cadence of the sympathetic nervous system, you might work on a 3, 5, or say 7 system where you breathe in for 3, hold for 3, and then breathe out for 3. Hold for 3. Breathe in for 3. So you're getting the lungs, the heart, and the nervous system as one. So the cadence is all as one, and then you can get it for a set of 5 or 7. And then look with the breath, and we do it a lot with swordsmanship. We'd have one draw, one cut, one kill, one move, one breath. Just all in one. So there's, but then that's the spotlight vision, and then you come for the floodlight vision.
Speaking of swordsmanship, Aikido, right, was originally about swordsmanship. Is that right? Was that not right? I don't know if that's.
No, look, I've never studied Aikido, so I wouldn't be right to answer that. But the styles I've done is Sete Iaido. Which is a combination of various swordsmanship, and then also Kenjutsu under Peter James Sensei. So, and if you want to say the Kenjutsu is the art of killing, but if you want to say killing your opponent or killing your fears, and then the Iaido is the art of drawing. So,
well, it's funny you should say that, like your fears or your opponent, just like life or life battling. Because I heard there's a quote, I think it's in Ip Man, he talks about Kung Fu is Confucius in action or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's to say that Kung Fu in itself is a lifestyle, even though Kung Fu I think just means Chinese fighting. Is that right? And but then the Japanese, his comparison was that the Japanese or karate is really more for a warfare sense. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at, say, martial arts actually goes back to the Europeans in the 1500s, which means
because the
martial of gods, and then I suppose that was their,
because knights were professional fighters, right? So they would have had. There would have been European martial arts, but we've lost that with weaponry coming in, like guns and stuff, right?
Yeah, we lost that, but I mean, it's still around. There's, and you look at what's prevalent now, a lot of knife fighting, and that's why you want to be, again, talking about vision, is how many people with edged weapons is prevalent. Okay, I think in 2016, 17 in England, I think there was about 11,000 edged weapon attacks. So that's a lot, and it's on the increase. So the weapons are good because it amplifies your move. So if you want to say we're doing martial arts for the martial, if you want to say the war within yourself, to be controlled, and the art is to put on a performance, to make a song, and to show what your focus is like, what your precision's like, what your presence is like. what your
which
grace
will
is
help
like.
you in the war anyway.
As well. Yeah.
But
and it can be released in a controlled situation. So, but you want to get it. So what we were talking about before is whether you're just performing for an hour or 2 hours, but that in your life you portray that as well.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that brings us back to, we're talking about these professional athletes and how they have to have their whole life sorted, right? But really, in martial arts, it is life, right? It's part of your life, and it's very related and discipline and those sorts of things. Do you believe in discipline or being able to change your level of discipline, or do you think it's just motivation? Or do you believe in motivation? Or you
want motivation, but you want discipline. But I think what keeps me passionate is variety, and also to understand the body can do a lot of things. The body can do a lot of things, and like I said, I'm doing more now than what I was when I was younger.
But do you have like a short-term, medium-term sort of objective anywhere? Like, are you going for another Dan? Or?
No, look, I don't look at it about what rank or whatever. It's about the exploring of my body, and also. I look at, if you want to say with the martial arts, is three things. Physically, I want to be physical in condition as good as I can. Okay, physically, mentally, by having strategies and tactics, and mindset, and then also with spirit is in helping other people. So that's what I'm saying. It's good to be around like-minded people.
Have to be.
Yeah, and then that's why I look at it as that. So. It's not relevant about what rank you are. That's all great. If you get an award or a rank, that's fantastic. But that's not the essence. And if you can help other people, and then obviously help yourself, there's so much. What's the word? That's the enjoyment I like, and
it's fulfilling. It's the value in the world is meaning.
Yeah. So really. That's what I'm saying with the training and a good coach. Look at how they coach. What are they giving you? And that's what I'm saying. I look from doing multiple of styles is what's the goodness that's coming out. What of back. Like I'm training at the moment with Savat master Terence Bridgman, who's done Savat for over 50 years. He's 70 and he is fast, he is agile, he is sharp. Okay, has great history.
What is Savat?
Savat is it means old shoe, which is a French martial art. So, but again, just to show that someone who's 70, who's agile and sharp and witty. And has underpinning knowledge. You go, well, I want to be like that guy. Like other.
Like the leadership we were talking about.
Yeah, leadership. And so they're saying, choose your coach. I go, I'm going to train with that guy. And I'm lucky enough. He goes, I'll train with you. So I'll train
and
you.
And what does that involve?
Well, it's unarmed, and you've got, if you want to say the sporting aspect of it, which is the kickboxing of it, but then it comes back to edge weapons, canes. Okay, so put it this way: you get a caning, I get a caning every week.
It's what was it sort of designed? Where did it come from? What was it designed out of? Like if it's French.
Yeah, well, from
does it have an origin? Or?
Yeah, origin from being in Paris. I suppose it started from street fighting, and then it just got more sophisticated and evolved from that. So,
because it's funny, we were talking about European martial arts, right? I mean, I guess not Krav, but Krav's sort of Middle East. I guess it's It's not Asian, right? But there was a number of them. The Gema, I think it was, with the Vikings.
Yeah.
And then the Romans had a very specific close quarters defense thing. And then you had the knights were all very well trained. Because their job, they weren't even. A lot of them weren't literate. Some of them were. A lot of them weren't. Because the church was running the literacy. But their just singular job was protection. And they were rewarded well for that because it's risky. But they would have been good hand-to-hand fighters.
Good hand-to-hand fighters. But again, if you look at all the systems martial arts that are out there, there's a common denominator. The body can only move in certain ways, and then get the mindset.
So there's a lot of leverage and disarmament and the practical type skills,
So, but if you understand body biomechanics, anatomy and physiology, okay, and the common denominators of the self-defense moves, if you want to say, and then the mental aspects. So if you go into the Japanese of the Seishin, of lingering awareness, the Mushin, of no mind, the Met scale, where your gaze is at, and you go, wow, I like that. So it gives it something special, and then you go, well, it gives me discipline, gives me respect for myself, for other people. If I can helps me be in top physical condition, mental condition, which I need, which you need in life, and then for your spirit of helping other people, and you can portray that. You go, okay, how good's that?
Well, I mean, I think it probably comes down to the fact that all these martial arts were, it was a lethal type profession that most of them derived from. If the Spartans were learning martial arts, it was life and death. With karate in Okinawa, it was because of disarmament, right? So they were disarmed, so they had to learn really, really solid self-defense skills. Is that why the size looked like a trowel, isn't it? Right?
For coming out of the rice, but for cultivating rice. But again, then they made it an art form.
So the mastery of it, right, is why you get these very fine level, high thinking stuff in it, because you to do mastery, if it's life and death, you need that super high level, which is a motivator. Yeah.
And again, from training with some of the people in Okinawa, they're very earthy, they're very welcoming, they're intellectual in they can do complex skills, but that's just from discipline of training, and just go. You can just see their spirit, and that's why with even Seishin, which we've got with business partner Andrew Wallace, is Seishin is really spirit first, then technique second.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Always have it. Even when I was training my girlfriend's French Isabel, when we went training in where she was living, the mayor was down at karate, and he couldn't understand English, and I was with Isabel's son, Tomo, and then we'd go and we have an interview before they'd train. Okay, so I had Tomo was my interpreter, and then he goes, virtually, I'll phone you tomorrow if you're suitable to train. So again, you learn about respect, and obviously they want to find out who they're actually training. So I think the martial arts is good in, that's what I'm saying is, well, if I'm going to pass on my knowledge to this guy, who is this guy or girl? Going from training in Kyoto in Japan at the Budokan, the people go, oh, what did you learn there? Well, I learned respect, because everyone's on the floor, cleaning the floor before training, then everyone's on the floor.
Did you have to learn respect though?
No, learn, but
a deeper understanding of it in a way.
If you're seeing it, that becomes the norm. So that's what I'm saying. Have a good coach and role models and things like that, and everyone's saying the same message.
Because certainly something parents bring their kids in for is
respect for martial arts.
Adults, not so much. It's not so much mentioned.
But then the probably the question I ask is that they want respect for some, not maybe all of them, so but say for 45 minutes or an hour in the class, but do they get that for the rest of the 23 hours and 45 minutes?
That's the question. I mean, they're trying to, I guess they're trying to outsource that part of parenting, right? And hope that by proxy it just goes into all their life. It might, but it might not as well. So that's what I'm saying is, with our practice that we do or training, it is, as soon as we wake up in between the sheets, boom, I'm on. Okay, my breath. How you gonna perceive your day? And if you go back even to when you're tying your belt, your martial arts belt out, you put your between your forefinger and thumb, how's my day been? How's my week been? How's my month been? Going back, it's in the middle of Mahara,
what goes around comes around. Okay.
Tying it correctly.
Tying it correctly.
And making sure you're at the same lengths and things. And
when you pull it up, everything is for good. Okay. Be happy with yourself. If not, you make some changes. And you have to make. That's what I'm saying, Eddie. You want to be a different person, or your training or your practice is different than you was a year ago.
But then, I feel like, and my mantra really is that sort of how you do one thing is how you should do everything, really. Because, and it depends how busy you are. But I like to look at things and say, well, if I'm going to do something, it's just done properly, right? That's just a standard, right? So for me, the training can never be, I'm not there to show up, if that makes sense. Right? And that sort of, I think, is the changer for me in a way. But like you say, with positivity, that's also part of it as well, right? So, I think, in a way, that's why I like martial arts. That's why I like business. That's why I like love. Right? They're the sort of three important things: family, business, martial arts. Because all of them are like a measure, they're like a true measure of the world. Right? So and it's something that I've thought a lot about lately is if, let's say in a fight, right? So to train to fight, to be fit to fight, or to actually have the skill to fight, it's a real measure. Because there is no participation. Essentially, there's a win or lose. It's that. It's the same in business. It either wins or it loses. Right? And it's the same in love and life, because people don't think of it as an active thing you should think about. Right? I'll hear people. I used to do a lot of relationship coaching, right? And you'll hear people say, "Well, if they don't accept me the way I am, then it's just not right."
Yeah.
And that's sort of true and sort of not true. Like, part of the balance of love is to be out of balance for it. Right, guys, if you put them on their own, they'll become. I often think that on a spectrum, guys are a little bit more like Asperger's-y than women are, right? Or a little bit autistic. Just on a spectrum, guys generally. And I'll see my friends that become single, and their house becomes clinical. Right, so there's everything's clean, everything's in order, but there's no light in the world, right? So then they bring a woman into the fold eventually, and it becomes more chaos, but more light. Right. So that's like family and kids and all that. So you got to get out of balance. So you got to be able to take yourself out of balance. It's the same for women. They've got to come into, if they come and live with a man, it's different, and it's harder for them as well. It's harder for both, but they've got to get out of their balance, right? But it's the same measure, right? So I look at it the same way. There's something to be worked on, right? And then those things, there's success and there's failure, it's the real world. You got to see the world as it is, but not worse or better than it is. So you can have reality, do you know?
Reality. So you're living in the moment,
living in real sense, right?
Real sense,
But that said, I guess point of my spiel there is my sort of like mantra is that everything in every day, in every way, is getting better and better, right? And it just allows me to step back a little bit and think, actually, it is. Like, things are getting better and better, and things come up that are really bad, right? But on the whole, like, how you perceive the world is in fact how it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and again, I suppose it's from the media that we get portrayed. Is the world that bad?
Well, you could look at it two ways. You can say it's the worst it's ever been, or it's the best it's ever been. We're living better and longer and healthier than in the history of mankind. It's pretty good, but overpopulation issues there.
Again, So again, depends on what you want to believe or what I think just go on what your thoughts and beliefs are. Okay, and again, be nice to people and be respectful and courteous and have good traits.
It's the golden rule.
The golden rule.
Yeah.
Speak nice, be nice,
treat people
act nice, and again, there's so much. There's so much that the world can give. Explore the world. Explore the world. Be with good people.
But on the same light, Jordan Peterson was recently saying that a dangerous man who is powerful is actually a good man. right? Because they're a protector. They are to be respected and all those sorts of things, as long as they're not a tyrant, right?
A dictator.
But a weak man is not, because a powerless man is not a protector. Is not there as a protector, not just physically, but mentally as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, if, for your family, men or women, but we're talking about for us, for men, you do have to be powerful within life, and that's mental power, and knowing what's important.
Knowing what's important, but controlled, but be powerful, but not by fear. So that's the thing. But women can be exactly the same. So
and that is martial arts, really, isn't it? It is power. In fact, it's hidden power, right, in a sense. But it's
we're trying to unleash the power within you.
There's an irony that you become, you train to fight, but people become less likely to have those. It's the young, fearful person with a lack of self-esteem that wants to prove and fight. So there's a paradox.
There's a paradox there.
If you become powerful in that sense, you don't feel that need to use it in that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that when you probably join martial arts as young, you are that, and then you go, perhaps. I'm a different person than what I was at 10, at 15, at 20, to 30, to 40, to 50 now. Different person. I train differently. Okay. I think differently. Okay. So, yes, you are that when you're 10 or 15 or 20 or whatever, and then you'll grow out of that. So.
I was sort of more thinking about like troubled youth, right? So the troubled, the stereotype, right? Yeah, and I've come across a few of these lately because I do a bit of mentoring stuff with teens and this type of thing. So you get youth that are sort of angry, and especially young guys, and they get in altercations, and they're there to prove themselves, essentially.
Prove themselves,
And I've seen one or two do some martial arts. I think then there's no need to prove themselves anymore. In that sense. So they're not going out to the pub to get in a fight anymore and that type of stuff.
It's in a controlled manner.
That's right. Yeah. So in fact, it's not, initially I was thinking, well, there's the risk in increasing their power because of this lack of control, but it sort of paradoxically takes away the need for that.
Well, they can still have the power. You're just harnessing in a good action.
Yeah, that's right.
So the good thing about, say, martial arts is someone maybe is a bit weak or timid, you're making him to be strong, or just for them. Okay, just have a little bit of presence, and the person that is if you want to say egotistical or confident or powerful, if they think that, harness that for them. So you could harness and go, well, you probably will be a leader in whatever business that you do. Okay, so you encourage that and enhance that. But again, following core principles of respect and discipline and then, but the person that's powerful the person that might be timid to have a bit of courage. So I think everyone can learn from everyone, because we probably were maybe the kid that was a little bit timid, or we might have been the kid that was confident, but we used it in the right way. And then coming in a work environment, like say, but with being a firefighter, you have to know each other's strengths and weaknesses, which is like the wind, but we have to have courage, we have to have discipline, but we've got to have structure
and humility,
respect, and humility,
and like respect for a fire.
Well, respect because it can hurt you,
but also bravery in a sense. So
but it's calculated. It's calculated. So there are.
But like you mentioned, ego. That you can, for motivation within a business or within individuals, you can use ego very positively.
So, but people's perception is it's
always negative.
It's always negative
because I think egotistical rather than ego as far as part of the self-esteem.
Yeah, which you have that. So, and you go, I like him. He's a good ego. If you want to say, you have to have it. And you're like saying, people want to be. Well, I want to be like that person. Or I am like that person, so that's why I relate to them. So
the confidence, arrogance, the play off between the two.
But again, if you've got respect and be humble.
So essentially, arrogance is confidence without respect.
Yeah.
Essentially.
If that's the definition.
Yeah.
But I think it goes back to what people's perception is.
Yeah.
You know. So, but I think if you be honest with yourself internally. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, your actions match your words, or your words match your actions.
So, any big goals at the moment? Are you trying to sort of do something? What's your life about right now?
At the moment, probably the last year, through a combination of my martial arts and movement training with Dr. Simon Carlin, put together a program called Executive Samurai.
Yeah, I saw this on Instagram.
Yeah. So with basically getting modern day science with the martial arts strategy and discipline, and again have that paradox of one thing is 10 things, and turning the training upside down. So
one thing is 10 things in a sense of.
Well, I was training with one of the senseis, James Keating, in Seattle, in Walla Walla, and basically when I walked in the door in the dojo, he just put a chair in the middle. And he goes, before we start training, I want you to tell me at least 10 things about the chair.
So multiple perspectives.
Yeah, and then he goes, and then after you said, you can sit on it, you can stand on it, it's plastic or it's wood or whatever, walk under it. Or, he goes, now we can start training. So he just saw where your mindset was at.
Interesting.
So he goes, okay, now I can work with this person because they're adaptable, they're creative, they're innovative. Instead of someone that's stubborn. So you want to be.
It's a gauge I have to do with every coaching client, because we sort of ask them questions and suddenly you just have these mindsets jumping out one after another, right?
Yeah. So again, perhaps we might not be the perfect fit. You know what I mean? So you want to be like the willow tree. You want to be strong. You want to be flexible. And then you go, well, I want my body to be strong, but I want it to be flexible. Otherwise, it will break. Okay? So going back to just doing the same thing, you will break.
Yeah,
will break.
And it's very much like family as well. With children with this just self-discipline issue, strong and flexible, right? Because you've got to be able to show love and be flexible.
Yeah.
And then real love is being strong enough for them sometimes to say. You've got it's like, when do you tell someone if they've really fallen apart? To get this shit together, it's okay.
But it's okay to have tears.
Yeah.
Okay. It's okay. And you be strong, but be flexible. Be soft. So then you want both. So that's what you want your body. You want your life to be like that. You want your relationships to be strong but flexible. Okay. So rigid. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Look at this. The spine can be rigid. But it can move. Okay? So if you look at going back to evolution of how we were basically a fish, and we've moved, and then as we've stood up, so and our minds evolved and our brain evolved, and the creativity, and that's how come collaboration is the key, and that's why we can send man to the moon. We can do all this technology from different bits and pieces. You know what I mean? So learn from others.
Well, but back to the
executive samurai. So again, just going back to, because we want creativity, and that's the key for survival. That's the key for survival.
But executive specifically, so
executive again, just change the mindset of yourself. Okay. Never accept
being the executive of your overall mindset, essentially.
Yes,
rather than for executives.
No, for executive for you.
Yep.
Okay. So the training is, if you want to say, it's not a boot camp or anything like that, but it's just systems and senses of the body, and to get going back to that chair, for instance, to go, okay, now I can work with you, or we're going to be a good fit. Eddie, Doug, we're going to work together well. Because again, going back to, you're only as strong as your weak link. So that's what I'm saying. When going back to, say, training, if you're testing that skill, but that's great. But what if something happens that you're going to get injured? And you don't want to get injured. Okay, so and that can happen. But think of the injury as a good thing too. Go, well, how do we fix it? And then, am I going to make the same mistakes? So the Executive Samurai program or system is about enhancing. So if you move better, then you'll probably think better. And then you'll be better for your business. So how many people got, say, sore backs and then, or sore shoulders or this or that?
And then that just sits on your psyche, really, doesn't it? If you're sitting and your back's painful.
And then I've got a deadline for you. Deadline for you to do. Can I depend on you for this?
I mean, I've certainly found my fitness and just not getting sick disappeared as soon as I got fit.
So we look at two things. We look at health span and lifespan. So if you want to say what you were saying before, you might live to 90 years old.
That's the quality
but what's your quality of life? So you want to live to 90 years old, but virtually till 89,
you'll be fully functional.
You'll be fully functional. You can still do things because at the moment, I think the average age approximately is, say, 79 years old that a male lives to. For the first 62 years, you can get through pretty well unscathed if you're lucky. But I mean, we could probably name your friends and go, I saw shoulder, back, hip,
cancer,
Okay. Then for the next 13 years, you will have some partial disability, whether it might be medication, whether it might be depression, high anxiety, my back, or whatever. And then the last 3 or 4 years of your life will be even worse than that. So, but again, it's up to you. So,
well, depression's something that I'd suffered from personally for about 15 years, right? Severely, but I've totally crushed it. But it was the problem was mindset stuff. Right? So it's funny because both of my parents are psychiatrists, so the whole within, I guess, if you think about it, psychiatry, it's all encompassing. So it's both the sort of mindset stuff and medication, physiological, and because if you take, say, a cerebrospinal fluid out of someone with depression, you can actually test and see. You can sort of go, well, they've got that chemical imbalance. But it's like a cycle, I find, right? So the mindset creates lifestyle, behavioral stuff, creates other physiological things. The physiological things are a symptom and a sign of it. And then you're in a pattern and it goes around. And if you can break break the mental barriers first, then the physical lifestyle stuff changes and you go and now I've completely 100% cured it for long years, But I often wonder if some of the, like, my pattern of lifestyle has changed, right? So the pattern is always working a lot, right? So full on, always engaged in something that I'm really driven to, but then also having that fitness as well. So having the two balanced. And just not doing anything by halves. Like everything's, how people are like, oh, nothing should be too extreme or whatever. I've sort of found the opposite. Like I've found that everything should be done to the extreme, including rest or including balance to the, and those types of things.
But if that's fit for you,
I was interested when you were talking about the meditation and the breathing and all that sort of stuff, because I find I get buzzed up during the day, right? So a very high level of alertiveness and awareness and excitedness, that type of stuff. And then winding down was a thing. So then I had to really learn how to do that, meditation. So I've learned that, and I can put myself to sleep basically.
Well, and that's what I try and get with the training, and then make it during your day, the cadence of the breath. If you go 3, 5 or 7 for your lungs, your heart and your central nervous system to link as one. So look, some people might need 6 hours sleep a day, some people might need 8 hours sleep a day, some people might need 3 hours sleep a day. We're all different. That's how you function. But I think, like what you said, get your circles right. Your family, your work, and your leisure or play or whatever. But have the same respect and discipline to all of them, you know what I mean? But you can have different personas as well, So you can't have to always be rigid and strict. You want to be flexible and play as well. And
that's very true. And people can forget, like, the play element of it. Like, life's got to be fun. Life's got to be... Like, I find all of it's got to be fun. And I'll make it... it's funny because sometimes your persona, right, with people, especially in business... You have to have a serious persona in some senses, but I'm always joking, and sometimes sometimes people can look at it and go, "Oh, are you not that serious?" I'm dead serious about everything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I'm running around on the mats laughing and
Yeah.
but I'm very serious about making sure we're doing it right, you know? But it's a balance, right?
Well, the play, going back to play, is the start of creativity. Because then if you're happy at work, if you're happy at training, if you're happy at home. So, and again, going back to say an animal, they'll play, they'll sleep, they'll fight.
Yeah.
They'll hunt, but they're always alert, then they'll sleep, then they'll play. But if we're just
which is a balance in a sense.
Is a balance, yeah. Okay, and then probably the thing about us is we can think about tomorrow or this and that. They only think about the now, but we can learn a lot and come back to the body. So if you've got a strong mind, strong body, which like you were just talking about depression, change the training, and that's why going back to the Executive Samurai with the training that we do, the practice is we change things up. So you're getting different neural pathways. It's not the same thing because for you the same thing is not that we don't want to be specialised in anything. We want to be
variation. Keep an even balance overall, fitness and all.
Well, fitness, puzzles. If you're feeling sick, well, let's do some puzzles. Every training session doesn't have to be hard, okay? But that's what I'm saying. You can train or practice for an hour or for 10 hours, okay? Just I don't know when it will last, when we'll finish. I don't know. So from the moment we wake up, that's when I'm thinking about moving and what my mindset's going to be. Yeah, obviously you have happy days and you have sad days, but more than likely you're in the middle, and that's how I sort of base people off. Like at 10-person people, you might get one person just go, wow, that person is just fantastic. I don't know, they're just born, they're just fantastic. Just their energy, what they say is all makes sense. They're great to be around, funny, intelligent. Then one person's negative and I don't know, make bad choices, and 8 of us probably just in the middle.
I do find though that I think people are either an energy output, in a metaphorical, like to the group, or they're an energy drainer. You're sort of one end of the scale, or you're neutral, right? But you can sort of categorize, like, there are people that are draining.
The draining,
sucking the energy out of the group or an individual, but there's others that'll just juice you up.
And then get your team or your gang or whatever you want to call it, your tribe, and get those other good people. Because again, why hang around? What for? What for? Maybe you're not our fit. So going back to the different skills that we can do or drills to find out, are you suitable for our team, or you might be better off for some other team, which that's their way of thinking, which is fine. But just for us, for creativity, for innovation, for moving, for energy, perfect. Come in, okay. So that's you'll find your tribe or your team. But I try and get with the what the body, whether you work in your balance. So you want to be, we were talking, work your balance, work your senses, work your speed, your power, your strength, your agility, your lightness, your creative thinking. Work it all.
And the mindset, and it all comes together, and you've got that balance too.
Why not just, I only work strength. That's good, but we've been born with all these other things.
Well, that was like Mike Tyson. He was explosive, but once people realised if you can get past that first 3 rounds,
there was you're in big trouble. You're in big trouble. So with him, just fantastic, boxer. But again, with what you're born with, practice all those skills. Anyway, that's my perception of that's what I like to do, because why just, if you focus on one thing, it may just limit you. Do you work your balance? Do you work your senses? Do you train closing your eyes? Do you train opening and closing? Do you do spotlight vision? Do you do focal vision? Do you do
I haven't done the eyes closed yet, but
do you do with a perception?
So much to it,
with someone coming at you fast, coming at you slow, coming from different angles, attacking from the side, different light. Wow, how good's that? But say without getting hurt, but just for your body, well, the eyes will love it. The senses.
Which is why I guess mastering martial arts is a lifetime pursuit. It never ends.
Yeah. So again, to train an athlete takes at least 5 years, or probably to get the base, and then you can get the maximum for the high level Olympian. But they haven't just done it in a year.
No.
Okay, and that's why you want to get out of that mindset of, hey, in 6 weeks I'm just going to be a machine. You may break down. You may break down. You may be able to do it. That just depends on your genetic. It goes back to genetics as well. But I think if you get a good mindset, good discipline in your practice every day, so it's part of your day. It's not like I have to do that.
Yeah, you look forward to it.
And again, it doesn't have to always be get out in the environment. I don't know why people buy treadmills. I don't know, man. If you need it for safety, okay.
See, I can't do that. I can't do the screen in a treadmill. That's just the last thing I want to do.
Well, but as an example, how much does a treadmill cost? It's free to run outside.
That's exactly right.
And just inoculate yourself. Just do steady. Just steady. It doesn't have to all be an hour. Might be 10 minutes, then 5, and then 20 minutes, then 30 minutes, then 6 hours a day. That's when I practice, and we were practicing yesterday with Michelle, Isabel, Simon and Rob and Kiri and we don't know when we're going to. We know sort of when we're roughly starting, but we don't know when we're going to finish. Sometimes we don't know where we're actually going to go. Depends on what questions and what feelings, and can we work with that.
There's much more art in that, really, isn't there? It's more of a to too much structure into something. Sometimes counterproductive. Sometimes it's productive.
So, but then we can go somewhere where we don't know where we're going to go. And then at the end we go, well, how did you feel? Well, okay, I didn't think of that. Good, okay. But so, yes, you want structure, but then you want to break the structure down. So that's what I'm saying. Yes, you want alignment in your training, and then you want out of alignment in your training. That's when you can grow, and that's what I'm saying. You want to be a different person than you were 6 months ago, a year ago, but just slowly, or it might be a big change. So the same. Get a good coach, and look at the people that you play with or hang around, and challenge the body and challenge the mind. And that's why, again, using the martial arts, using the art side of it, man, that's so fantastic. So going with the martial arts, say when you're doing your kata, it's all perfection. Or then have they got presence? Have they got posture? Okay, the 3 body weights.
The feeling of the kata.
The feeling. Can they sense that? So it's like an interview. You're doing the kata for a minute. It's like with an interview, within 30 seconds, most interviews say, for instance, within 3 minutes, or even less. So within a minute, you've got presence. Okay, what's the motion like? Okay, whoa. Okay, what's the energy like? The 3 body weight centers. The head, the chest, and the pelvis. What do they move like? What's their posture? Wow. Okay, they own the mat. They own the floor. They own whatever they do, and they're in charge. Wow, that person's going to be a leader. Okay. Okay. So you want to be in charge of your own destiny, and if you're not getting on with people that can help you, there's so many people that are fantastic. So that's what I'm saying. You want to be with other people and learn. I'll learn from you. Learn from different people, and that's what I'm saying. When I'm training, I don't look at I'm training them. We're training partners.
Like it's not like one sensei, but taking everything. No, still have one is good as well. Because
But then they ask me questions, and then we can go from there. So that's the thing. So whether I'm training with Andrew Wallace or whatever, I'll get him to ask me questions, and Brendan Cook, you know what I mean, who's a draftsman, but again, he thinks creative, so that's why I like being with him. You go, wow, okay. He thinks from different, you know, that one thing is 10 things. And when training some girls, Tasha and Michelle and Judy, they want. Well, what's next, Doug? What's next? You know, so that helps me be creative and innovative. When last year I was in Scandinavia. Have you ever been to Scandinavia?
No, I haven't.
So they are different again in regards to relaxed. Maybe we're all a bit highly stressed.
Culturally, I guess Australians are like that. Americans.
But innovative. You look at most things.
And they do things well as well. They're sort of Northern European or Germanic type efficiency that they're known of, or like the IKEA type efficiency type thing, you know.
Work less. I think they're working 6 or 7 hours a day. Because they go, well,
that's better balance.
Well, better balance. And then they're going where everyone's happier.
Yeah. There you go.
I just everyone was more. We were riding everywhere. Okay?
In Japan they have so much balance and zen and all that sort of stuff, but then they also have huge amounts of suicide. So maybe some things are going to change. But if you keep doing the same thing, you'll keep getting the same results. Well, I think we might have run out of time there,
but that's good.
We could have gone all day. I could have just kept going all day there.
Okay, that's good.
No, thank you so much for coming in, and I feel like I learned so much. I'd love to come and do some training sometime, and
more than welcome.
It'd be a lot of fun at Seishin.
But I wouldn't tell you what we're going to do, though.
It'll just be a surprise.
Well, that's what we want.
It'll be something totally different, and I'll probably be hurting a lot more than usual.
Yeah, but again, it's just that perception. And again, the training is not for me; it's for you. And then, but then I'd go. When you'd ask me questions, go. So then I'll try and find that. So then we're training together. So
we definitely have a 6-hour session, I reckon.
That's the good thing is just so you're not just time frame.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why I like to do these over a longer period of time.
So again, it might last an hour, might be half an hour, whatever. So, and I think change the training or change your thought pattern, then you'll get different results. And you were telling me about, you know, how you do business. So, man, I think I've got to go to Eddie to learn about that. Okay, he seems like a good coach. Okay, because I haven't got that expertise. Okay,
so you got to find people with that expertise.
Go, okay, well, perhaps we'll be a good fit. Okay, so that's what I'm saying is be as a team, because then you can grow for you personally. And how good is it to help other people? And then help you, and again, just I think just have a good spirit.
Well, that's what life's all about, I guess.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thanks a lot. Cheers. Thanks, Doug. Awesome.